You already know how to create. You just don't believe you're the one doing it. You know what you want. Or rather, you think you don't. You've told yourself that story for a while now, that the problem is clarity, and that if you just figured out what you actually wanted, everything else would fall into place. But that's not it. The real issue isn't that you don't know what you want. It's that some part of you doesn't believe you're allowed to have it. Until that changes, until you stop placing your desires in the category of things that happen to other people, you will keep standing in front of a door you never open. Most people in your position, mid-career, capable, smart, frame this as a strategy, planning, or even a discipline problem. You think if you just had the right system, the right mentor, or the right moment, it would work. But here's what's actually happening. You're walking up to the counter every single day and ordering nothing. Or you're ordering something so vague that even if the universe wanted to deliver it, it couldn't. You say you want things to be better, or you want a job that feels meaningful, or you simply want more. More what? Better how? The problem isn't effort, it is specificity. Beneath that lies the willingness to commit to wanting something concrete enough that you could actually be disappointed if you don't get it. That's the risk most people quietly avoid. It isn't failure they fear, it's specificity. Think of what you want as a food order. You walk into a restaurant knowing you're hungry, but when the server comes, you say you'll have something good, or maybe something warm. That's not an order, that's a mood. What you get back will match exactly how vague you were. The people who actually create what they want, and there are people who do this consistently without magic, get specific. They are obsessively specific.
It isn't just a new job, but what the work feels like, what the environment looks like, and how it connects to what they already value. It isn't just a partner, but the actual qualities, including practical ones, like whether they are available. One woman using this framework wanted a car. She wrote down the make, the color, and the price range. She got the car, but there was one problem. It didn't run. She forgot to specify that part. It sounds funny, but think about the parallel in your own life. How many times have you gotten something that looked right on the surface, but missed the detail that mattered most because you were vague about it? The clearer the picture, the more the world has to work with. If this is real and the evidence that it works keeps appearing, why don't capable people do it? Why don't you do it? It's not because you lack information, you just heard the framework. It's not because you lack intelligence, you're probably better at systems thinking than most people you know. It's because doing this requires you to be someone who believes their desires are worth fulfilling. That is an identity statement. A lot of people, especially those who are competent and have been useful to others for years, have never actually claimed that. You've spent decades being good at things for other people. At some point, that becomes your identity, the capable one, the reliable one, the one who makes it work. Quietly and privately, wanting something specifically for yourself feels almost selfish, arrogant, or naive. So you stay vague, because vague is safe. If you never really say what you want, you can never really fail to get it. That's not protection. That's a ceiling you've built for yourself. If you're in your 30s or 40s, there's a specific version of this that needs to be named. You've built something, a career, a reputation, perhaps the life, that looks quite reasonable from the outside.
The idea of wanting something different, not just more of the same, but actually different, carries a quiet weight. If you admit you want something else, you're implicitly admitting that what you've built isn't exactly it. That feels threatening, not because you've failed, but because you've invested time, identity, and other people's expectations. So you negotiate with yourself. You make the dream smaller so it fits inside what already exists. You tell yourself you're being practical, mature, and realistic. But there is a difference between wisdom and self-erasure, and many people in your position have confused the two. You don't have to blow anything up or start over, but you do have to be honest, with the same clarity you'd bring to a business decision about what it is you actually want next. Here is the one move. Write it down, not as a vision board or a journal entry about your feelings, but as a description. Make it specific enough that if someone else read it, they would know exactly what done looks like. Then, and this is the part people skip, stop engineering how it happens. The moment you say you want something and decide on the only way it can work, you've already shrunk the possibility. The path you can see from where you're standing is almost never the path that gets you there. It's just the path you can currently imagine. Describe what you want, release how it arrives, and then actually watch for the ways it starts to show up in forms you didn't predict. That isn't magical thinking. That is what it looks like to stop unconsciously blocking outcomes because they don't match the specific route you pre-approved. So here is where I'll leave you. The question isn't, what do you want? You've been asked that 1,000 times. The question is, what would you have to believe about yourself to actually ask for it specifically? Sit with that one.